Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have Bailee joining me. Hi, Bailee.
Hello.
Guys, we have an exciting video on how to speed up your manifestation. We've got lots of tips, and we intend that everybody gets something from this video and helps them to speed up their manifestation, as well as we've got a success story. So just before we dive into it, remember, guys, we're having a contest. We get to 100,000 subscribers. We're giving away some free coaching session. It's just in the description. It explains how to enter the contest. And and also Bailee's having a sale on her coaching. She's filling up fast, not going to last long. So definitely check it out now. She's nearly 50% discount at this point. So that's ending soon. So let's definitely take a look into signing up if you're interested. And let's dive into it. I'm excited.
All right, guys, I'm super excited too. So I had a client that on her own, she discovered law of assumption, and she worked from about December to March on her own self-concept, but she was still doing, her own techniques, and she was still not seeing the movement that she wanted. And when she was mentioning her daily routine, she was telling me, that she would see success stories that had very similar stories to her own, and she would comment on there, what are your affirmations? What are you doing? And she would switch up her routine and even switch up the affirmations that she was saying. And then she was telling me how she kept feeling either emotionless or she would get a pit of anxiety instead of the relief that you're supposed to get from saying your affirmations. And she wasn't able to have any sort of feelings at all towards herself whenever she was saying these affirmations. And she even said she felt like she was lying to herself whenever she would say them. So we figured out affirmations, that would work for her. We wanted to say things, in her voice, because we don't want to copycat other people's affirmations. What could work for me might not work for you, because we all have our different experiences and we have our own resistance and blocks built in. So she decided that she wanted to talk to herself the way that she would talk to her friend, and she would say things like, oh my gosh, he just dropped me off home a couple of hours ago, he keeps calling me every 10 minutes to check on me, it's normal for him to be so obsessed with me. We always want to say words that seem like this is something that is normal, this is in your daily routine, you're always seeing. So this has always been, this is normal, this is daily, any minute now this is going to happen for me. So she would say things like, I've always been a perfect manifester. I've always been an instant manifester. I've always had a perfect mental diet. It's normal for things to work out for me. Everything my SP is doing, thinking, saying is always working out in my favor no matter what. So it's really important to just know, no matter what, even if you can't see the movement, there's still that movement behind the scenes. And after doing that, she had been working for a few months on this on her own and had no movement. But once we were incorporating the things that made her feel more comfortable and specific to the way that she would talk to herself versus, the way that someone else might say their affirmations, her SP calls her out of the blue. And he was telling her all of the things that she had been, affirming. He told her he would go to text or call her, and at the last second, he would pull back. And so, she was really excited that there was all this movement behind the scenes that she had no idea. He was telling her his friends always brought him up around her, his family, he was having dreams about her. All of these things were all happening behind the scenes. And so with my client, I feel like it's really important to understand, when you're struggling to see movement in your 3D, just keep reminding yourself that there's always movement. She was very, very excited to think that the times that she was worried about things not working, in that instant, her SP would be pulling back. And so it's really important that we don't compare our journeys with someone else. The you that you want to be is already here. You don't have to get rid of anything or change anything. Just be yourself. You don't want to be another version of someone else. You just want to be wholesomely you. And stop thinking that you have to change and get rid of things, because you're going to get it. Whatever your desires are, you will get it. It doesn't matter if you don't understand how it's going to happen, because the point is it's going to manifest regardless. And you should already know that you're already who you want to be. You aren't making anything happen because creation's finished. It's already done. And when you just pause for a moment and ask yourself, who you are without the negative circumstances, and you just want to feel yourself in the normal state. So you're not attaching to the stories, that you're not experiencing life through the lens of lack. You're in the state that you're good and you're going to remain there. And, everyone's journey is so different. So please stop comparing and looking at time, just like, everyone else and the coaches and different, speakers that we see. We often just put them on pedestals, but we have to remember they're us pushed out. They're just showing us what we can achieve and what we will achieve. So when you're seeing stories, instead of letting it get to you of thinking, oh, maybe I'm not doing something right, or I don't have my manifestation yet, where is it? You have to always give it good meaning. It's coming for you too. They're showing you exactly what you can do. So don't change your affirmations. Don't get discouraged. Don't try to copy exactly what someone else is doing, because you need to do something that feels comfortable and natural to you, and the way that your subconscious mind is going to be able to take what you're saying to it. Because there's always movement. Don't think just because you're not seeing it that there's a block there, that you're not going to get it, because you're not saying exactly what this person said, but they were in your specific situation. So we have to remember that we all talk to ourselves differently, and the way that I talk to myself could even be something different than the way that you talk to yourself. And just don't let that really discourage you. Like, don't compare stories, don't focus on the time of it. Just be you and know in your state it's already done, it's already coming. And whatever you're saying to yourself, you're on your own independent journey, and it has to work out. We are our only block is ourselves, no one else. It's just us. So as soon as you are able to put your mind right where you need it to be, then everything's going to unfold for you. So don't think, sorry, don't think that it can't happen or that it has to take longer, because it doesn't. Just keep reminding yourself, any second this can conform for me, any second this is going to come for me, because you stand so firm in your power that it's going to happen for you. So I was super excited for her, because all she had to do was turn around. She's doing everything right. She just had to stop comparing herself to everyone else and talk to herself in a way that felt comfortable and natural. That way her subconscious could just immediately accept it and push it out to her.
Exactly. And that's the thing, right? Is, not everyone's blocks are the same, and it's like, if their third parties are created in so many different ways. It could be that you're insecure about yourself, or you think the person's a player. So, we may end up in the same situations where we're not getting a commitment, or we have a third party, but they could be very much created in many different ways. And you want to basically be on top of your thoughts and listen to what you're saying to yourself. Like, you may have created them not wanting, like me, I created Andrew not wanting to commit, because I had a story that men that were previously married didn't want to do that again. And that's how it showed up, right? Whereas somebody else is maybe in a situation where they're not getting a commitment, but a completely different story. So I always like to change my stories to be believable to me. So, where I may go, and say, okay, well, you know what? I'm manifesting, Andrew, just to like drop it right now and apologize to me and be so loving. Now, and that may not be comfortable to another person, because you're not quite there yet. The one thing I like to do is to create the little list of little mini manifestations, because a lot of this is just really trusting yourself and saying, okay, why am I ever worried? You know what I mean? Like, I'll create something small, it'll happen, and I'll be like, why was I ever worried? Like yesterday, I went to say, I was thinking something, and I went to say it, and all of a sudden Andrew said it, and I'm like, okay, why am I worried? Why am I ever worried, right? So, and also, when it comes to success stories, okay, when someone's like talking, like you're listening to somebody, you automatically repeat what they say. So when you watch success stories, use it as a catalog, like, okay, and fill your mind with it, because the more you focus on what you want and being happy for other people and saying that's going to be me next, you're actually creating that into your reality, and take what you want from it and leave what you don't want. You don't have to create it the same way that they do. But I mean, I used to do that. I'd be like, wow, you know what? If they can do that, I can do that. And I am going to do that, right? Instead of beating myself up. Same thing with social media. Like, Andrew was on Facebook, and he didn't sent me I was his girlfriend. So of course I was snooping, and I was like, who's this girl? Who's that girl? Then I was like, no, Amanda, you know what? Seriously. Then I sat down and I started going, I'm going to be there with him. I'm going there with him. I'm going to be, and I started using it as a catalog. Right. And once I did that, I actually there was one picture at this pub he was at having dinner, and all I could see was like this plate of food and like a little bit of plate of food and a pint of beer, and then this beautiful view. And I remember saying, I'm going to be there with him. And then sure enough, what was it, like a year later or something, maybe not even, he ended up taking me to that exact pub at that exact seat with that exact view. And, so, you create that same thing with like, he would take his law firm to like the horse races. And I said, I'm going to go there. Like I saw the picture of them. I said, I'm going to be there. And sure enough, what did he do the next year? He did the same thing in the spring, brought all his staff and brought me. So, use all these things as a catalog. Don't beat yourself up. Don't compare yourself to others because you created them. So why create them to be happy and to get a relationship and then beat yourself up over you're not having it, because it's only you and your reality anyway. And the reason why you're going to see other people be successful when you're focusing on marriage, you're going to see other people get married because that has to manifest. So be like, okay, look at my subconscious it's impressing. I'm going to get it now because, like you've made it that far, don't turn it into something where you're not going to get what you want. No, you are going to get it. That's why it's showing up in your reality, because you've obviously been focusing on it.
Yes, exactly. That's what I try to tell everyone. Yes. Like, especially because, if people in your reality are starting to get it, like, let's say your best friend got engaged and that's what you've been manifesting, instead of being like, well, why her and not me? You're supposed to be so happy. I'm really impressing my subconscious, and I know I am because she's getting it. I know I'm next, intending that you're the next success story, intending you're the next one that it's coming for, instead of giving it the negative meaning of the why me. We go back into the self-sabotage state, and we just want to get out of that victim state and not do that to ourselves.
Exactly.
And I've noticed, like, the first comment that I see on success stories is, what were your affirmations? What were you doing? When did you do it? They want very specific things, but we're all so different. And all you should be taking from that is, this person did it. You can do it too. For the people that are like, well, I have to see it, touch it, feel it to believe it. Okay, well, you'll see it, but you just have to intend that you're that next person and trust what feels good to you. And the way you talk to yourself, we know ourselves better than anyone. And so if I know that by me being able to do affirmations that feel good to me versus, what worked for you to get your SP, they're probably very different. We have very different blocks. We have very different resistance. Something that I can manifest in a minute, maybe it could take you a month to manifest that. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to get it or that you're not the best manifester. It just means that you have other resistance to work through, and it's coming regardless. But our stories, you can't compare them.
Exactly. And, that's why, that we offer coaching, because, your story is going to be very much different. When I did coaching, there wasn't two clients that had the same story of why they weren't getting a commitment. There was never two clients that had the same story of why there was a third party. It was always very much tailored to that person, because they've got different thoughts, different feelings, and, different ways. But, there's only so many ways, a third party can be created, but sometimes it's always different. The main thing is listening to your thoughts, because, every single thought has the potential to create. So get on them.
It does. And I feel like when you're on your mental diet and you're really strict, then you start to notice the subtle blocks or thoughts that come in that are opposing your manifestation. And instead of just letting it come through and talk, then you'll start to catch yourself, like when you're new to it, like, oh, wait, why did I just think that? And why did I have that whole conversation in my head opposite of what I was manifesting, when I should be thinking from the complete opposite way? And it will sneak in. It sneaks in sometimes. So you just have to really be on top of that mental diet, making sure that you're flipping it and you're staying in the state. We're not even attaching anything to the negative story. And if it's coming in, I'm flipping that right now, because that's not me thinking from my angle.
Exactly. It's not thinking from the end. So much great tips. We intend that each and every one of you guys speed up your manifestation. And remember, you're perfect. Don't create another story that you're not, because every single one of you are perfect. Thank you so much for being here today, Bailee.
Yes, thank you so much.
And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.